You've been staring at that same haircut for years, and something still feels off, doesn't it? The mirror isn't lying to you. But nobody has been honest with you either. Until right now. Let me tell you something that most stylists will never say out loud. The wrong haircut doesn't just make you look older. It actively works against your bone structure, your elegance, and the woman you actually are. I research worst style and beauty mistakes and youth-boosting fixes for mature women, so you get simple, proven transformations that work instantly. Today we're perfecting 7 rejuvenating haircuts to look 10 years younger, rich and elegant at 50 plus. And by part 3, you'll want to pause and look in the mirror. I mean it. We're covering 7 transformative cuts, 3 things to absolutely avoid, and 1 shape in part 5 that has stopped women mid-conversation asking what changed. Subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path so you never miss a fix like this. And the very first haircut? It works on almost every face shape over 50. Let's go. 1. The soft layered bob. You've probably tried a bob before. And if it left you feeling a little flat, a little more tired than you expected, that wasn't the bob's fault. It was the wrong version of it. The soft layered bob is a completely different animal. And once you understand why, you will never settle for a blunt cut again. Here is the thing nobody tells you. A blunt bob acts like a horizontal line across the widest part of your face. And at 50 plus, when the face starts to shift and soften, a horizontal line at the jaw pulls the eye down. That is what creates the heaviness you feel but cannot explain. The soft layered bob breaks that line. Layers are cut internally. Not choppy, not aggressive, just soft movement that starts at the cheekbone and flows down. That movement draws the eye upward, toward your eyes, toward your bone structure. And that is where the magic lives. Honestly, this is the one cut I wish every woman knew about before she sat in that chair. Here is your swap. If you are wearing a blunt jaw-length bob right now, ask your stylist to add soft internal layers starting at the cheekbone. Nothing dramatic, just movement. The difference is immediate. The before feels heavy and still. The after feels like your face just lifted. Your maintenance tip. A soft layered bob needs a trim every 6 to 7 weeks to keep those layers working with your face and not against it. Let them grow out past that, and the shape collapses. This is the one that made a client of mine stop mid-conversation and ask what her stylist had done differently. She hadn't changed the length at all, just the layers. Coming up next, a cut that almost every stylish woman in Europe over 50 is wearing right now. And almost nobody in a standard salon will suggest it to you. 2. The textured French crop. Have you ever looked at a woman across a room and thought, she just has it? That effortless quality? That sense that her hair costs a fortune without trying? 9 times out of 10, she is wearing some version of a textured French crop. And it is not what you think. Here is the insight most women miss. A heavy top creates visual weight, and visual weight over 50 reads as age. The French crop works by removing that bulk at the sides and back while keeping texture and movement on top. The result is a clean silhouette that frames the face without crowding it. Your eyes become the focus. Your cheekbones become visible. And this is the part that will surprise you. The French crop is not edgy. Done correctly on mature hair, it is the most refined, expensive-looking short cut available. It photographs beautifully. It holds its shape through humidity. It requires almost no daily effort. Yes, that's simple. If you are currently wearing a short cut that puffs out at the sides or sits flat on top, you know exactly what this cut could fix for you. The sides are the problem. The sides are what age a short haircut the moment it grows past its appointment date. Your swap. If you have a standard short cut right now, ask your stylist to gradually taper the sides and introduce texture. Not razoring, just point cutting, through the top section. That single change transforms a round, dated shape into something architectural. There is one thing about the textured French crop that your stylist will never tell you. The length of the top section determines everything. Too short and it reads boyish. Too long and the shape loses its elegance. The ideal length is enough to show movement, but short enough to sit above the brow line when styled softly forward. That zone is where this cut lives. That zone is where you look 10 years younger. Your maintenance tip. The textured French crop needs attention every 5 weeks. Not because the style fails, but because the taper at the sides grows out quickly. and that is what changes the entire silhouette when neglected. Next, we are talking about a cut that women with fine or thinning hair have been waiting their whole lives to hear about. And it involves a length most people would not expect. 3. The face framing layered lob. Here is a truth that will change how you look at every cut from now on. Fine hair does not need to be short. It needs to be shaped. That is the difference between a layered lob and everything else you have been told to try. Most women with fine hair have been told, over and over, that length pulls the hair down and makes it look thinner. That advice is half true. Length without layers does that. A layered lob does the opposite. The internal layers remove bulk from the mid-lengths, which is exactly where fine hair loses its fight with gravity. And the face framing pieces, the ones that fall just in front of the ear, pull the eye toward your features instead of toward the flat section at the back. This is the one I wish someone had whispered to me years ago. The layered lob is the most forgiving cut for mature hair because it adapts to every texture change that comes with age. Think about your hair over the last decade. Has it changed texture? Gotten drier? Lost some of its natural wave? The layered lob works with all of those shifts because its architecture is built on movement, not on volume. Your swap here is specific. If you are wearing a one-length collarbone cut with no shaping, you are carrying dead weight at the ends. Ask your stylist to remove 2 to 3 inches of length and introduce soft layers. Not a choppy shag, not dramatic graduation, just internal movement. Your hair will feel lighter by the time you leave the salon. There is one technique inside the layered lob that your colorist can use to make it look even more youthful. And it takes exactly 4 minutes. Soft face framing highlights. Just 3 or 4 pieces in a tone 1 shade lighter than your base, placed directly where those front layers fall. The light catches those pieces and your whole face brightens. It is not highlighting. It is framing. There is a difference. Your maintenance tip. A layered lob needs a trim every 8 weeks to stop the face framing pieces from losing their angle and becoming simply long and shapeless. This is the one that has women stopping mid-conversation to ask which salon she goes to. The answer is always simpler than they expect. Coming up next, a cut that most women over 50 have completely written off. And I am about to change your mind entirely. 4. The tapered pixie with soft crown. Most women over 50 hear the word pixie and immediately say no. And I completely understand why. Because most pixie cuts shown on mature women are harsh, severe. The kind of cut that removes softness from a face that is already asking for more of it. The tapered pixie with a soft crown is not that cut. Not even close. Here is the insight that changes everything about this cut. A harsh pixie fails because it removes length everywhere, including at the crown. The tapered pixie with a soft crown keeps deliberate length at the top. That length gives your stylist room to create movement. And movement at the crown is what lifts the entire face. Without it, a short cut simply sits there, and the eye drops to the jaw. Your jaw is not the feature you want to lead with at 50 plus. Your eyes and your cheekbones are. And the soft crown sends the eye exactly where it needs to go. Honestly, this is the cut that made a woman I know tear up at the salon because she had not seen her cheekbones in years. The key is in the word tapered. A tapered cut follows the natural contour of the head at the back and sides. It does not chop straight across. It graduates down. That graduation is what creates the elegance. The sense that this cut was designed for a specific woman, not pulled from a standard chart. Your swap. If you are wearing a standard short cut that feels boxy or round right now, ask your stylist specifically for tapering at the nape and above the ears combined with point cutting through the crown section to add texture and lift. That combination is the difference between a short cut that shortens the face and one that elevates it. This cut is everything. And it takes courage. That courage is worth it. Your maintenance tip. The tapered pixie requires shaping every 5 to 6 weeks. The neckline and the area above the ears grow the fastest, and that is what changes the shape first. The retention on this cut is remarkable. Once you see it on the right face, you do not forget it. What comes next is a cut that is having a serious moment right now among women who have decided they are done with anything ordinary. 5. The silver shag with curtain layers. There is a cut happening right now that stylists in Paris and Milan have been recommending for mature women for the last 3 years. It has not filtered into most suburban salons yet. which means most women over 50 have no idea it exists. It is the silver shag with curtain layers. And it is extraordinary. Here is why this cut works so powerfully on mature women specifically. The shag silhouette removes weight from the midlengths, the zone where mature hair tends to go limp and formless. The curtain layers add a soft frame at the front of the face that draws the eye inward, toward the center, toward the eyes. And when the hair is silver, the movement through those layers catches light in a way that makes the color look intentional, luminous, and completely expensive. Silver hair has been fighting the light for years. This cut makes the light work for it. This is the one that made a stylist friend stop mid-appointment and say she had never seen a woman look so effortlessly elegant in her chair. The curtain layers are not bangs. This matters. They are longer than bangs, long enough to tuck behind the ear, long enough to fall past the brow without hitting the eye. They create a frame without a commitment. If you have been afraid of fringe, curtain layers are the version that never traps you. Your swap. If you are wearing a flat mid-length cut with no layers and no framing, you are working twice as hard to style it every morning. The silver shag requires less effort, not more, because the layers create movement that does not need setting tools. Wash, rough, dry, and go. That is the actual reality of this cut. There is one thing about the curtain layers that your stylist must get right. The parting point. The curtain should part naturally at the center or slightly off-center based on where your natural part falls. If a stylist forces a curtain layer against your natural growth direction, it will never lie correctly. Mention this. It matters. Your maintenance tip. The silver shag needs a trim every 7 to 8 weeks to stop the layers from merging into a shapeless, overgrown mass. The curtain fringe specifically needs attention every 5 weeks. This one causes that pause mid-conversation. Every time. What is coming in part 6 will change how you think about volume forever. And it involves a length decision most women get completely wrong. 6. The rounded graduated bob. Most women who choose a short bob think they are getting something clean and modern. And then they stand in the parking lot outside the salon and wonder why something still feels wrong. The answer is almost always the back. Here is the truth about standard short bobs. Most are cut flat at the back. Flat at the back means the head looks narrow from the side. A narrow back makes the face look wider. And at 50 plus, when the face is already softening at the jaw, a wider-looking face with no counterbalance adds years. This is the geometry nobody explains. The rounded graduated bob counteracts all of that. Graduation builds shape from the nape upward, creating a curved silhouette that rounds and lifts the back of the head. When the back is rounded, the side profile looks balanced. When the profile is balanced, the face looks lifted. When the face looks lifted, you look younger. Yes. That simple. The graduation is what your bone structure has been asking for. Your natural elegance was there the whole time. The shape just wasn't framing it correctly. This cut works on thick hair, medium hair, and even fine hair when the graduation is kept close and tight. A skilled stylist can adjust the weight of the graduation depending on your density. More texture for fine hair. More weight for thick. The silhouette stays the same. Your swap. If your current bob feels flat from the side, your stylist needs to revisit the graduation at the back. You do not need a different cut. You need the same cut done with the correct internal architecture. Ask specifically for a rounded nape graduation. Those 4 words will change everything. There is one color technique that makes a rounded graduated bob look even more dimensional and expensive. A single process tone with 2 or 3 hand-painted face framing pieces, placed only at the front sections, adds depth without touching the back. The back stays clean. The front comes alive. The whole cut reads as intentional and sophisticated. Your maintenance tip. Graduated bobs grow out unevenly at the nape before anywhere else. A refresh every 6 weeks keeps the shape intact and prevents the flat back problem from returning. What comes next, number 7, is the cut that surprises everyone. Because most women over 50 have been told it is not for them. 7. The long layered cut with face frame plus 3 things to avoid. You have been told that long hair is not for women over 50, that it drags the face down, that it looks desperate, that it is simply not age appropriate. I need you to hear this clearly. That advice is wrong. Badly, lazily wrong. Long hair is not the problem. Long hair with no shape is the problem. And there is an enormous difference. A long layered cut with face framing pieces is one of the most universally flattering cuts available to women over 50. When layers are placed strategically, starting at the cheekbone, softening through the shoulder, they lift the face from the outside in. The face framing pieces act as a visual bracket around your eyes, your cheekbones, your natural elegance. Long hair with this architecture does not drag. It flows. And flowing hair on a mature woman looks confident, intentional, and powerful. This is the one I wish someone had shown my mother before she cut everything off. Your swap. If you are wearing long hair with no layers right now, the weight is working against you. Ask your stylist for soft face framing layers starting at the cheekbone and long internal layers through the back. Not a dramatic shag, just gentle movement. Keep the length. Remove the dead weight. It takes 20 minutes. Now the 3 things to avoid. Because knowing the right cuts means nothing if you walk out with one of these. The first thing to avoid: excessive layering. Layers that are too short or too many create a frizzy, shapeless result on mature hair that has changed texture. You want movement, not chaos. The second thing to avoid: the mushroom cut. This shape, wide and round at the sides, creates a helmet effect that adds visual weight to the jaw and cheeks. It is the most aging shortcut in existence, and it is still being done in salons every day. The third thing to avoid: the blunt one-length cut at any length. No movement, no framing, no dimension. A blunt cut on mature hair reads as flat and heavy, because it creates a visual wall rather than a flow. Layer it or lose it. This is everything you need to walk into your next appointment with confidence, clarity, and a very specific request. Your maintenance tip for long layered hair: a trim every 8 weeks keeps the face framing pieces at their correct angle. Let them grow past that, and they blend back into the length and the frame disappears. You have just been handed the full picture. Use it. You just discovered 7 transformative haircuts, and the 3 shapes that have been quietly stealing years from your face. That is more honest, specific haircut knowledge than most women get in a decade of salon visits. Boom! Your bone structure was always this stunning. Now you know exactly how to frame it. Here is your comment challenge for today. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 7 cuts are you most excited to try? And which of the 3 things to avoid have you been wearing without knowing? I read every single one. Next time, we are going inside the one makeup mistake that makes every beautiful haircut you just learned look 10 years older. And it has nothing to do with foundation. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.